Welcome to this ID&D video tip about checking for broken links in your MyClasses Canvas course. There are two areas, or two ways, that you may be able to check for broken links in your MyClasses course. The first is to scroll down and click on Settings, and click on Validate Links in Content. This will run the Course Link Validator, which will look for broken links across all content in your course that it has access to. For example, it's telling me that on my course syllabus page, the banner image may not be accessible by students in the course. So I'm going to go into the course syllabus page and check to see what my banner image is. This banner image should be in my files area and it should be published. So I'm going to go to Files and check for this image to make sure it's available. This image has only available to students with link by default from this folder, meaning that any student who enters the course should be able to see that image. But if I move the image to my main folder for the course, I can make sure that it's published and available to everyone. So now if I go to Settings and I come back to that Validate Links in Content, it remembers what it found before, which was the banner image. I'm going to restart link validation because I want to see if this course syllabus banner image broken link comes away. But I will note that because it's on this broken link validator doesn't necessarily mean that it's broken. It just means that there may be an instance where a student can't access it because of the permissions set on that image. But if I restart the link validation, you'll see that the image from the home page is now no longer showing on the course link validator, but I have some new ones coming up. So if I want to see what these broken links are, I'm going to click in and see what idea 1 is. And it looks like this page is showing as a broken link because it is not published. So it's showing as broken because it's unavailable to students. But the link itself, as soon as you publish it, should be available to students. So I'll publish this page. Now let's go back to Settings, back to my Validate Links in Content, and I'm going to check the next page, which is a copy. I know that this is not a page that's published or I want available to students, so I can ignore this. Here's another copy. I can ignore this. But now I want to check this Distance Learning Week, making PDFs accessible. Whenever you're checking links on a page or a resource, I always recommend going into Student View, just in case there's a resource that you have access to as the owner of the course, but students don't have access to. So I would always recommend clicking on Student View and then looking at the information that way. So when I look at this page, I see this image that has a lock on it, and so it's indicating to me that there is an image that's not available to students on this page. So I'm going to want to find and fix that image. Now I, as the owner, I can come in, I can see this image because I have access to this image. So this is the image that I want to find to make visible to students because it's currently broken and students can't see this image, which means it may not be published. The file itself may not be published. So this is something I'm going to want to investigate and fix before students have access to it. Sometimes if you can't find where the issue is, it's because you can see the content because it's going to another course that you have access to, but students don't, and you'll notice that this course number changes. That's why we always recommend clicking on Student View when you check these links and this content, because if students don't have access to your 2022 course or 2021 course that you're accidentally linking to a file or an image in that folder, course folder, you'll be able to see it because you also have access to that 2021 course. Students will not, so they will get an error message. So one of the first troubleshooting things you can do is make sure that you are looking at the actual course that you are in. Whenever you open up a new file, a new image, a new folder, it should be pointing to something in the same course. The second way, or the second area where you can validate links, is when you import content from a previous semester. So in this playground course, I imported content from a previous semester, and I noticed that it flags with 23 issues. So yes, if I go to my home page, I will see that I have content loading. And it looks good initially. It looks like everything's there. It's what I want it to be. But if I click on these 23 issues, it will show that there are missing links found in some of my assessment questions, so in some of my quiz questions, and there's some missing links in one of my wiki page bodies, so one of my pages in the course, or more than one page. So I'm going to click on this link. It links to the page where there's a potential issue. And so, for example, if I say complete chapter 4 chapter discussion, we can see that the page isn't found, meaning that I had linked to something that I then deleted and it's no longer there. So something on that page needs to be fixed. Likewise with this one, Module 2, Overview and Objectives. Here's Buster at MGM. This is a discussion. Page not found. So if I look at my discussions, I'll find that I have this Buster at MGM discussion, but it's not correctly linking to this page. So this is a link that I'm going to have to fix in order for my students to access that content. So now I'm going to go back to Settings and Import Course Content, because this is where I came to bring over content from the previous semester. And it will continue to show me the 23 issues that it noted while it was coming over. And I can right-click and open each one of these and make sure that I check every single one of these pages. And then when I'm done making updates to these, I can come back to my settings and I can validate links in the course to make sure that none of these issues show up. So for example, I've opened up some of my quiz questions that weren't showing correctly, and I can see that the images or the figures that I had in these quiz questions are not showing correctly. So I will need to check my quizzes to make sure that, or any exams that I have, to make sure that I fix any loading issues. And remember, I got that immediately after I imported course content. I could check these links for broken errors. So there's different workflows that you can do. In the course that you are going to bring over, you can validate links and fix links before you import. You could import the course content and start fixing and updating links from any issues that are flagged, and run that validate links and content throughout the semester to make sure that any changes you've made along the way, the links are being captured and validated. Thank you for watching this video tip. For more information, check out these resources.